What is up? Welcome to this week's episode. This is a late episode. My best friend passed away this past weekend, and I just haven't really been able to do a whole lot. I spent some time out there with his parents and spent time with him in the hospital while he was, still on life support. And anyways, he passed away, and so I just kind of been in a weird spot, and so this episode's late. Sorry, it is what it is. But nevertheless, I think you guys will enjoy this one. This was recorded with my friend Carly, who has been in the Subaru game for a little while and recently decided to switch over to a new platform. And I just thought her viewpoint would be kind of interesting for those of you that you're considering buying a Subaru, or maybe you already have, and you're wondering, well, how far can I push this platform, or, what can I expect, and what should my expectations be when I'm off-roading in one of these cars? But yeah, we're going to jump into that. Before we do that, if you're not already checking out the Subi and You podcast, there are a ton of good episodes over there. Should definitely go give that a follow. Also, massive shout out to Melee Design Firm for being a supporter. And one of the perks of them supporting the podcast is you guys get 10% off pretty much anything in the meleedesignfirm.com store. All you got to do is use code DIRTSUBIES at checkout. You guys hear me ranting and raving about upgrading your battery pretty regularly. They sell some of the best batteries in the game, a lot of good mounting systems for batteries. They sell some other really cool parts for our cars. My friend Patrick Anderson, the owner of Anderson Design and Fabrication, he has also recently come on as a sponsor of the podcast. The way that he's sponsoring what we're doing over here is by giving you guys a 5% off discount. So if you guys need a lift kit, skid plates, ditch light brackets, all the good stuff like that, most ADF branded hard goods are part of that deal. So go check it out, and you just use the code DIRTSUBIES at checkout to get that discount. If you're on the fence about lifting your car the right way or cheaping out and buying some eBay garbage, this is your cue to do it correctly. Let's go ahead and jump into this episode. So we got with us today. Wait, what is your Instagram?
It's Ursula the GX.
Rad. Okay, and there's underscores in between the words.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right on. Well, I wanted to have you on because I think you have kind of an interesting perspective. You currently own, is it a 2018 Outback?
I own a 2018 Subaru Outback.
Right on. Is it premium trim?
It is the limited.
Ooh, nice. You got that fancy joint with the leather. I like it.
Yeah.
How long have you owned that car for?
I've owned it for about 4 years.
Okay. Is that your first Subaru?
It was, yeah.
Okay. What was kind of the purchasing process? Were there other cars you were considering at the time, or?
Yeah, so my best friend owns a Subaru Outback Legacy, and she was like, "You have to get a Subaru. They're great." So I was actually making the move from Oregon to Colorado, and I was like, "Actually, I think a Subaru is like a perfect Colorado car." So I started hunting around, and like honestly, nothing was catching my eye until I saw this Subaru that I have now was listed for sale, and it like had the lift in it and everything already. So I was like, wow, this looks really badass. Like, I need to go check it out. And so it was actually the first Subaru I test drove. And I was like, I test drove it. I loved it. But I was like, let me think about it. It was kind of expensive. So then I test drove a different, like, cheaper Outback. And I was like, no, I'm like in love with this one that has the lift. Like, I have to get it. So honestly, like, it was the first one I test drove. And I kind of knew right away that that was for me.
That's rad.
Yeah.
Was it mainly the lift that kind of sold you on it, or was there something specific about the driving experience that you liked?
So I mean, I drove like a stock one that was pretty similar to the one with the lift in it. And I think it was like the lift that ultimately sold me. I felt like it took it from like a bit of a mom car to like a bit of a just like badass car, even just with 2 inches. But yeah, I think that was what sold me was the lift.
Right on. Had you ever seen lifted Subarus before, or was that something you were already kind of following on social media, or what was the deal with that?
No, actually, like, I didn't even know it was a thing. I was like, "Wow, this Subaru is really badass, like, I want this." I didn't know it was like a culture essentially. So I learned about the Subaru culture when I moved to Colorado, and I like joined some Facebook groups for off-roading, and I was like, I kind of want to get into this. And then someone told me to check out Soft Road Nation. And so when I did that, I discovered, and it's called Off-Roading Subarus of Colorado. And that was like a whole group of people with badass off-road Subarus that went off-roading together. And so I just like joined the group. And then I think in like May 2023, I joined them for the first time, and I got to meet a ton of people with like snorkels on their Subarus and like all these big lifts. And I was like, this is so cool.
I think the community makes it the most fun,
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
get around other people and you see kind of what they're doing with their builds, or I that's how I learned, everything about
Mhm.
off-roading was just getting out and doing hood rat stuff with the homies.
Yeah, absolutely.
What all was on the car when you purchased it? Was it just the lift, or did it already have aggressive tires?
It had a couple like smaller upgrades, like the person that had it before me installed mud flaps and like some visor things, but yeah, I put the skid plates on, the snorkel on. Yeah.
I got a couple questions, but
Okay.
the skid plates, what did you end up doing for skid plates? Did you go all the way front to back? And then what brand did you go with?
I did full coverage with Primitive Racing.
Dude, I love Primitive. Blake's
Yeah.
the homie. He's a good dude, knows what he's doing. Their stuff is well, they're kind of the Subaru skid plate OGs
Mhm.
in my opinion.
Yeah, so when I got my oil change, my mechanic was like, "Oh, I can see where you've scraped these and hit these quite a bit." So,
Sick. I
they're
love
doing a
that.
good job, yeah.
Dude, they're worth their weight in gold, instead of, ending up stranded on the trail, you can make it home. Um, are there any situations where you remember like giving them a good hit?
I remember hearing it. I was like, "Well, I'm already going over it, so I'm just gonna keep going." But yeah,
Dude, that's
yeah.
what's up. Now, had you already kind of been off road and been on trails multiple times before you installed them, or was that like a preemptive thing that you did?
Um, it was preemptive. Yeah. So I kind of like talked with the group before I went out with them, and I was like, what do I need to go off road? And they kind of gave me, just the lowdown on like, well, you need skid plates to protect your undercarriage. And so that was like the first thing I did once I did my first upgrade.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a night and day difference because I've driven off road without them, and
Mhm.
the way your mind works is completely different. As
Oh,
soon as I
yeah.
had skid plates, I was like, oh, it doesn't matter. Like, oh, I smashed into something. Okay, I'll just keep going. Who gives a
Yep.
fudge? I'm like,
Exactly.
just put it up against that boulder and let God do the rest.
Yeah.
Just send it, dude. You mentioned that you moved to Colorado from Oregon. Have you since moved back?
Yeah. I moved back
Okay.
last summer, so I've been here about a year-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. How long were you in Colorado?
For 3 years.
Okay. How
Yeah.
was what was kind of that whole journey? What took you out there and what brought you back? I mean, you don't have to get
Yeah.
super specific or
Yeah.
personal, but
Honestly, part of it was the weather. Like it's really sunny in Colorado and obviously not in Oregon. So I love the sun. So weather, and then I'm really outdoorsy. So obviously like Colorado is a huge outdoorsy place. And then I'm really into EDM music. And so there's a huge EDM scene out there. So that was fun for a little while, but I was ready to come back.
yeah, I've lived in a lot of different places. I lived in Asia for a little bit, and I totally understand that, like wanting to do something different, see something different,
Hmm.
but that feeling of I'll never quite fit in the way I fit in at home, or it
Yeah.
just doesn't quite feel the same. I don't even have any family out here uh,
Oh.
anymore, but it's still, it's home. Grew up like in the Portland, Vancouver area,
Okay.
and now I live in East Oregon, so I understand the
Mhm.
sun thing.
Yeah.
It's literally like sunny here, even in like November and December. We'll have sunny days.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
it's cold as crap, like we get
Mhm.
down into the single digits and negative. So the snorkel. there are no snorkels that are made for Subarus to my knowledge, other than I think Brittany the Crosstrek. I think that dude I think is designing one right now. But did you
Yeah.
use like a Pajero snorkel,
So I think it was a T80 series, if I remember correctly.
like a
Um,
Toyota?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So like, oh, I guess that makes sense. I'm almost certain remember your car um, at what's that place called? Browns, at Browns Camp. I'm
Oh,
pretty sure I remember seeing you there. I think you were in a different area for the most of that day, but um, yeah, I think that makes sense. Like an FJ80 or something like that. It looks like it could come off of that.
mhm.
How hard was that install? Did you do it, or did anybody help you or give you guidance on it?
Yeah, so I didn't have any part of it. So there was a mechanic in Colorado that I used to go to that specialized in like off-road Subaru modifications, and so I had him do it. And it was an expensive job because, well, not like super expensive, but relatively expensive because of the labor. Like it did take quite a while for them to get it on. It involved obviously drilling the hole in the panel, and then there was a bar that was like kind of blocking where it needed to connect to the airflow, and so they had to like melt and bend the bar a little bit. And then obviously the snorkel itself like wasn't fit like snug around the outside, so they had to do some like heating and bending, and then like adding plastic back to it. So it was like a whole process.
Some people just slap the snorkel on. They don't because they have to be airtight or like
Yeah.
watertight. People just
Hmm.
be like, oh, it's a snorkel. It'll work, but then they still suck water right into their engine.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I've heard though. Is there's I guess yeah, on your Outback, the FJ80, that sounds like it would be the closest fit. But yeah, I know a lot of people use like the Mitsubishi Pajero, which was like a
I've heard of
Japanese.
those. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and you got to like heat gun the piss out of them, and you know uh, finesse it a little bit. Have you run into any issues with that catching on trees or causing any damage to? I mean, because I know you got to drill like straight into the car. Has that caused any issues for you at all?
No, actually, it hasn't. I've never caught it on anything. It's been solid.
Okay, nice. And have you put it to the test? Have you driven through anything crazy?
So this is what's frustrating is so in Colorado, when I put the snorkel on, it was right after I did a water crossing, and
Oh no.
it was really deep. And when I got out of the water crossing, we all kind of like just waited for everyone to get through. And then when I went to start going again, like I hit the gas and nothing was happening. And so I was
Oh
like,
no.
yeah, it's like,
Oh
what just
shoot.
happened? And so it was that point where I was like, oh, if I'm going to be serious about this off road stuff, like I have to get a snorkel or get a higher lift or something. And so I was like, well, snorkel would be badass to have. So I'm going to do that. So I got the snorkel. And then unfortunately, a year later, I left Colorado, and I was surprised that there aren't that many deep water crossings that I've found in Oregon. Like,
There really
compared to
aren't.
Colorado. Yeah, which is
Yeah.
interesting because I was like, it rains so much more in Oregon. But yeah, so that's what's a bummer about I'm eventually selling my Subaru, and I'm like, I really haven't had the opportunity to use the snorkel like I would have liked to. So that's kind of a bummer, but it's okay.
Well, I guess it's better to have it not need it than to
Yeah,
need it not have
exactly.
it.
Yeah, it was kind of a peace of mind thing. It's like, well, now if I need a deep water crossing,
Yeah.
I'll feel better about it.
When you ended up floating in that water with no power, what happened? Did water get up into like the mass airflow sensor or
So my air filter was just wet, and then some people I was with, they were able to just like dry it out with like some power air essentially, and once it dried, they put it back in, and then I was able to go. So I don't really know the logistics of that. I just know my air filter was wet, I couldn't go, and then it was dry and I could go. So
perfect? Well, that makes sense. If I mean,
yeah.
I guess if the air filter, it sounds like you were right on the cusp of actually having a real problem. What was the story with that? Where were you at, and like how deep was the water?
Oh, I was out on some trail in Colorado. I can't remember what it was called now, but it was like the hardest trail I've ever done in my life. And so that would have been really upsetting if I like ruined my car on the first hard trail I've ever done. So I'm glad that didn't happen.
Yeah, no kidding. there's nothing like having your car, stuck in the middle of nowhere and you're like, oh no, how am I going to fix this and get the
Yeah,
thing home, or talk real nice to somebody and get them to drive a wrecker out there to pull it
right.
out. What made that trail difficult? A lot of rocks or a lot of steep inclines?
Um, a lot of obstacles where you had to pick like, the right line. And I was obviously very new to it at that point. So for me, I mean, for an experienced off-roader, it's probably not a big deal. But for me, I was like, wow, I've never done anything like this before, going over all these obstacles. Yeah, just having to try to figure out the right line to take to get plenty of traction and make it uphill and everything.
What about in Oregon? What's some of the craziest stuff you've gotten into out here?
We did one. There was a fun one we did in Battleground, Washington, with a few of us in the group, and like Milton.
Hmm. Silver
In
Star?
Silver Bullet, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Was the trail Silver Star?
Oh,
Is that the
oh.
one?
I don't recall.
Okay.
I wish I knew trail names more. And then when I went with the group after, I think it was the Iron Man rigs thing,
Hmm.
and then we went to like the Browns camp area. There was a couple that were pretty hard, and part of the reason I'm selling my Subaru is because it was like overheating constantly on like the tougher trails, and yeah,
Uh-oh.
so that's where I like discovered its limits.
Yeah. When you say overheating, was the transmission or the engine overheating?
I mean, it smelled like CVT oil, like
Oh,
burning, and
okay.
then like the gauge would show it was like starting to overheat for the engine as well. So
Oh, crap.
yeah, I haven't been able to get it diagnosed. Like, there's no check engine light for it,
Hmm.
so I don't know what's going on. Except maybe I'm just pushing it past what it's capable of.
Yeah. Yeah, I think anything where you're wedged in somewhere or you're on a steep incline and you have to like really push the, because we don't have T cases
Yeah,
and we don't have any way to utilize our torque at low speeds, and so you just end up heating everything up like crazy.
yeah.
Let me ask you, because I want to you alluded to it, so I want to ask about why you decided to move away from the Subaru platform. But before I do that, can you talk a little bit? I know it was already lifted, so I don't know how familiar you are with what's on it. Um, but do you know what kind of lift is on the car?
So that's kind of a funny story. So when I got the car from Subaru of Portland, they were like, yeah, we installed like an Ironman lift. And they said it was like some amount of money that was like super expensive. I was like, wow, that's amazing. And then at the time, I didn't know that Ironman specifically was like green springs.
Hmm.
And the car had yellow springs. And
Oh, okay.
so everyone would ask me, and I'd be like, Iron Man, not knowing that it was like, it should
King
have been
Springs.
green.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So then someone told me, like, no, I think that's King Springs. And so that's when I learned, like, less than a year ago that I have King Springs. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's probably got it sounds like a primitive racing lift. A lot of people will say, and they're right, that the King Springs are super uncomfortable off road.
Mhm.
I mean, I just air down. That's how I manage
Yeah.
that. But what's kind of your drivability thoughts on that whole thing? Like, does it handle okay on the street, and then when you take it off road, does it still feel pretty good?
I definitely feel like it's pretty stiff for sure. But I do air down, like you said, off road. And so I think that helps. But yeah, it's not the most comfortable ride.
Yeah, dropping a little layer of pressure never hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's I mean, they work really really good for keeping the rear from sagging if you're
Yeah.
loaded up with, I mean, even one camping trip's worth of gear, like for a couple nights, that amount of gear can, you know
Mhm.
when you really budget it all out, you're like, oh, that's 400 pounds worth of stuff.
So I have open range tires. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, I think it's a Les Schwab
Yeah, it
tire.
is.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
see a lot of people run those, dudes
Okay.
on full size pickups and stuff. They seem like good tires. I've never run
Yeah.
them, but have they treated you pretty good?
As far as I know, I can't claim to be an expert in tires, so I just got like the most aggressive tire that Les Schwab offered.
I love that.
So that's what I went with.
Okay, no sidewall failures or any punctures or
Mm-mm.
anything like that?
No, I haven't had any issues.
Perfect. I love that. And then what size are those? Are they like a 245, 65, or I know I'm putting
I
you on the
wish I
spot
knew.
here.
Yeah, I wish I knew off the top of
Okay.
my head. I don't.
Okay. Yeah, I off the top of my head from looking at your pictures, I can't. They're either a two. I would say they're a 235 or a 245. Are they? And you're not running stock wheels. Are you running Motegis? Is that what you've got on it?
Sparko, I
Oh, there's
think.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And did they sell those to you at Les Schwab as well?
No, those also came with the vehicle when I bought it. So,
Oh, nice. Okay,
yeah.
a little upgrade. I love
Yeah.
that. Sick. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Those are good looking wheels. I like those.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Um, Now as far as like tire stuff, when you go off road, do you carry anything specific? Like, do you carry air compressors, air down tools, or
Mhm.
anything for field repairs? If something unfortunate happens.
Yeah, so I don't carry a ton of stuff, but I have the basics. Like I have an air compressor, I have a tool for airing down, I have traction boards, I have a shovel, and I have a rope. So the basics.
Have you ever needed to be recovered in that car?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the last time I went out, which was the time where I made my decision that I was going to sell a Subaru, unpaved, Derek had
Hmm.
to tow me out.
Oh no. Okay, what happened? Was it because of
Uh,
the CVT overheating or?
yes, yeah,
Okay.
it was like there was like one stretch that was really steep, like you had to get some good momentum going, and it was just like really also very bumpy. So I was just afraid to send it too hard. So it was just like at the very beginning, it started kind of doing its thing, overheating, and then it just didn't get better the rest of the trail. So even like baby bumps, it just wasn't doing it. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I love CVTs. I think they're like a work of engineering art, but
Hmm.
they're just not very robust,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if there's something they could do to them to make them a little more capable in our cars. But I mean, Derek, he's gone. What is he on, like number 4 now or
I
something?
think so. He just put one in.
Poor Derek. If I just, he, because people always point at guys like, Milton or Derek and be like, yeah, see what you can do in a Subaru. And I'm like, okay, but
At the expense of.
how many drivetrain swaps have they done?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Derek's on engine or transmission number 4, like there is a
Hmm.
cost to it. Like, yes,
Yeah.
you can make these cars do like pretty much well, you know what they say, like the measure of what makes a good wheeler is how much you care about the car. Like
Yeah.
you can make a Toyota Corolla, dude, almost anything, but it just depends
Yeah.
on how much you care about it,
Right.
um, I don't know if this is going to show. Oh, right here. It
Oh yeah.
shows
I
that
see it.
photo. Is that the trail in BG that you did?
Yes. Yeah.
Sick. Okay, so that's like my old stomping grounds. Like
Oh, okay.
I've gotten into so much mischief in that area. Like, not really mischief, but like that's one of my all-time favorite places on planet Earth.
Okay.
That whole. Did you guys go all the way up to the top to like the gravel parking lot with the
With the viewpoint. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, with the like little fire
Hmm.
pit in the middle where everybody like leaves their
Yeah.
trash for whatever reason? Yeah, that's Silver Star. That's
Okay.
seriously such a sick trail. I've left a lot of dignity on that trail for sure. Did you guys go around the backside and go to any of like Molten Falls on the way back or in?
I'm honestly not sure. I don't recall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I'm watching the video right now of you. There's that one spot where, like, before you start to go up the Silver Star Trail, this
Hmm.
video, the one where you're coming down
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
thing, I've definitely scraped my bumper there a few times. Okay, so other than like the CVT issues, do you
Hmm.
feel like the car's been overall pretty capable?
Oh yeah. I've loved the car. It's been
Hmm.
fun driving it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, despite their limitations, I always tell people like, yeah, it's not going to be the same as like a twin solid axle, TJ Wrangler on 37s, but you will be blown away by what they can do,
Yeah.
even in stock form, you know, and
Hmm.
for things as simple as, you know, getting milk in the middle of a winter storm. Like I've never been like, oh, it's snowing, I have to stay inside. Never, you know, like
Yeah.
I've owned Subarus for like 20 years and almost 20 years. And I've never not owned one. You know, I've had other stuff, but I always have a Subaru in the fleet. Like
Okay.
that's my jam, dude.
Yeah.
Um, what is your what are maybe your let's how about this? What's your favorite mod or accessory, and which mod would you say would be like the most useful mod or accessory?
On my Subaru or just in general?
Let's go with the Subaru. Let's see where this takes us.
Um, I think my favorite one is the snorkel because I feel like it's just so unique because they don't make them for Subarus, and so
Yeah.
it definitely feels more special having it, and I feel a little more invincible. Like, oh, I can do a lot more now.
It's like that 18-year-old mentality of like, I'm invincible, I can do whatever. Like I'll never
Yeah, pretty
die.
much. Yeah, and I've definitely overheard some people like trash talking the snorkel, which I know, right?
Who are they, dude?
Nobody's, but just like the
Probably.
comments I've heard. So I
Yeah.
know it's not like the most popular thing ever, but I've loved it, and it's what I feel like has made my Subaru like special and unique to me.
Well, I like it because it's I don't know, like the reason I remember your car is because I've never seen let's see, what is that? Is that fifth gen Outback? I can't keep the gens straight because they shared chassis with Legacies for a
Oh,
long time. So I always like mix it up. But I've never seen, you know, like a 2015 to a 2020 or whatever that chassis is. Never seen one with a snorkel until I saw yours at Brown's that one day.
yeah.
Um, dude, anytime I see stuff like that, I'm like, okay, cool. Like this person's ready to like get it, you know, get down and like mess up their car. Like, let's freaking do it. And then would you consider that to be the most useful mod, like the mod that has provided the most utility for you?
No, unfortunately. I would say the skid plates probably have just because they have definitely saved me from, scraping some pretty gnarly rocks. So,
Yeah. And they save a lot of money. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that's a huge money saver. I think, especially with like the transmission, I think the transmission gets overlooked so often by people. I mean, if you put, I mean, you can dent an oil pan, and as long as it doesn't uh, break the pickup tube for the, you know, for the oil pump, like you're still going to make it home. Yeah, you should sort that out. But man, if you're CVT or even if you have a true automatic, if that pan gets dented, you're bricked, dude. Like you're gonna have a hard time getting anywhere unless you got somebody
Yeah.
that's gonna pull you out. So I love that you did front to back, and I
Mhm.
have saved so much money,
Yeah.
way too much money. Just because the cars, they're independent suspension, which is great for certain things, but
Mhm.
it leaves a lot of stuff open to damage,
Yeah.
serious damage, expensive damage. Any rooftop accessories on that car?
No, I haven't done anything with the
Okay,
roof.
that keeps your fuel economy looking good.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
no worries there. All right, so you're trying to sell the car, and you're not
Yeah.
buying another Subaru. I'm not going to
No.
hate on you for that at all. I totally understand.
Thank you.
Can you kind of explain? I mean, I know you mentioned the last fiasco that you had off road, um, but what ultimately kind of steered you towards the direction of doing like a body on frame true 4x4?
Um, so I think the limitations of the CVT with the Subaru just made me want something that's more capable that I don't have to modify a ton to get capability from. I considered possibly getting like a Forester or something and just maybe modding that out, but I was like, I don't want to put in a ton of work and money into something. I kind of want it to just be ready to go off road and already have that capability in it. And so I felt like the GX was great for what I was looking for.
Yeah, I think all the Lexus stuff is super super slept on, you
Yeah.
know. Because when it's all new, it's expensive, and so people don't really consider them because like, oh, it's out of my budget. But like
Yeah.
when you're looking at the used market, most people that are like, oh, I'm gonna get a wheeler, or get a 4x4, they're not looking for Lexus models. They're looking at Toyota or
Yeah.
Jeep or whatever.
Yeah.
The which GX did you get?
460.
460. Okay. Is Do you know which Toyota model that's based off of?
I was told it's got the same frame as a Forerunner.
So you already went and bought the car. You still
Yeah.
have the Subaru, but you're in the
Hmm.
process of selling it. Have you taken it off road yet?
A little bit. So I went camping with some people from the Subaru group recently at Crater Lake. And so we just kind of like dinked around in the woods a little bit around there, but no major trails yet.
Okay. And then, if I remember right, I think I saw you posting on Instagram. There was a couple things that you've done to the car as far as wheels and tires.
Hmm.
What did you do for that? And then, have you done any other mods to it?
So I did a body mount chop so I could fit 33-inch tires on it because they were going to rub really bad if I didn't. So I did the body mount chop. I got the Toyo Open Country tires on there, all terrain, and then I got some Ultra Motorsports wheels.
Heck yeah. The chop that you talked about.
Mhm.
What is that?
I don't fully understand, but essentially they cut away, from my understanding, they cut away metal parts. There's no rubbing when you turn the tires or go off road with the tires.
Okay.
And then in its place, they like create their own metal like piece that they weld onto the vehicle in place of that. So
Okay.
I don't know exactly how it works, but yeah,
Okay.
it's necessary.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with all the Toyota based stuff, so I don't know
Yeah.
how exactly how their suspension's set up. But dude, anything that's got a Toyota motor in it, like I'm a huge Subaru fan, but you won't catch me hating on anything with a Toyota
Yeah.
block in it. Like, let's freaking go. How is your like your fuel economy in the GX? How is that kind of compared to what you were experiencing in the Subaru?
Yeah. So on average in the Subaru, I was getting 22.5 miles per gallon.
Nice.
Yeah, when I first got the GX before the tires, I was actually getting an average of 20 miles per gallon, which is really good.
That's not bad.
Yeah, but then once I got the wheels and new tires on, that changed. So now it's more like 17, 18 miles per gallon on
Okay.
average.
Did you go up to 33s or 35s?
33s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um
35s would have been a whole project to fit those on.
yeah, absolutely. The did you take into account the larger tire diameter on the GX getting your MPG?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's still bad. Darn. um what's been your initial impression? I know you said you haven't done any crazy off-roading, but do you have any buyer's remorse, or are you pretty much like, okay, this is sick?
No, I love it so much. I think the only thing is like occasionally when I first got my Lexus, I would still drive the Subaru actually like probably half the time because I still
Mhm.
love it. And when I
Yeah.
would go from the Lexus to the Subaru, I was like, wow, the Subaru is like a little go-kart. Like it's so
Yeah.
fun and easy to drive. So the Lexus, I think the only downside is it's bigger, but honestly, I love driving it just as much. It's just different.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of came to a point with the Subaru where I'd kind of modified it to the point where I was like, okay, this is sort of the end of the road, like
Mm,
the next to get any more capability out of this thing, I would probably need to spend $5,000,
yeah.
spend a ton of money, and this is just like a old clapped out Subaru. It's like just it's fun to like smash it into trees and rocks, and like that's about
Yeah.
it. Um, but I hit this point where I was like, okay, like the whole thing is going to need overhauled and going to need a ton of custom fabrication
Hmm.
and a bigger lift and like an Australian transmission just to get anything else out of it. And
Yeah.
so I kind of came to that point too where I was like, okay, I guess I need to get a 4x4 if I really want to keep doing stupid
Mhm.
thing. So I just went and bought like an old clapped out Jeep XJ,
Okay.
and that's been a an expensive project,
Oh,
just
no.
because I treat it so bad. You know,
Okay.
it's like that kid that you don't like. You know, I just treat it horrible. I would never treat any of my kids bad, but um, yeah, I just beat it half to death. You know, and so it always needs new parts and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
yeah, I came to that same conclusion where I was like, okay, the Subaru, anything that's much steeper than, like a rich person's driveway, like it's not going anywhere, dude.
Yeah.
Especially if there's rocks in the way.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to add two off-road rigs to the collection. Um, but man, driving that thing is like it's a gamble. It's like,
Really.
oh dude, it's like it came with like 27-inch tires back when it was, on showroom floors. And now
Mhm.
it's got 35s on it. No
Okay.
sway bars. Like,
Oh, wow.
no, it's like a toaster oven on wheels that's just completely clapped. So, on the highway, it's like, you know, well, the saying, like, old Jeeps, like, you don't drive them, they drive you. I'll be on the freeway and I'll be like, oh man, I hope I don't have to pass anybody, and I hope nobody cuts me off, because it's not going to go good for either of
Oh,
us.
no.
Is there anything about the Subaru, if you were to like compare the two cars, is there anything about the Subaru? I know you said it handles more like a
Mhm.
go-kart, but so far, have you found anything that you really miss about the car?
Yeah, so I would say, I mean, the CVT on road is amazing because it drives like a dream, like on
Oh
road.
yeah.
It's so fast. It just speeds everywhere like it's nothing. And so like driving it on windy back roads is so fun. And I can't drive the Lexus the same way because it's big SUV. So I definitely miss having like the size and the speed of the Outback for sure when I'm driving those back roads.
Yeah, especially with the suspension setup that you have on
Mhm.
that, like with the
Yeah.
King Springs, even though it's lifted, it still handles like a straight G, you
Yeah,
know?
it does.
Uh, with the with the GX, um, just in the little bit that you've had it off the pavement, have you taken it on anything where you've been able to get through something where you were like, "Oh, this is why people drive 4x4s?"
Yeah, there was a couple just, like, dips where I was like, "Oh, I don't know that my Subaru would have made it up that as
Yeah.
easily." Like, it would have taken some effort, and my GX just, like, crawled over like it was nothing, no effort. So, definitely noticed.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on 4 low now that you've come to the dark side?
I mean, so I don't know if you know, but the GX is always in 4 low.
Is it?
Yeah,
Wait,
so
what?
I mean, 4 high, sorry, it's always in
Oh,
4
okay,
high.
okay,
Yeah, so I didn't need to use the 4 low yet because it's just
okay.
always got the four-wheel drive on.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait
So
until yeah,
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, "Man, if it drives this good, just, like, with the general four-wheel drive always on, like, I can't imagine how it's gonna work with the 4 low."
yeah, 4 low was because I used to make fun of, like, Forerunner guys and Jeep dudes. I was like, "Oh, look at these clowns, just driving slow like slugs on the trail." And then I bought one. I was like, "Oh, I get it. Like, this is
Yeah.
crazy." It's like, power lifters where, it's like they grab onto 800 pounds on the platform and they just start pulling, and it's slow, but it comes up, like
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
you could just kind of crawl over. I mean, the way that I drive off road with something that's got like a low range T case is completely different than the way that I
Mhm.
drive the Subaru.
Yeah.
Um, but it's pretty eye opening, and it's,
Mhm.
I hear all the silly comments from, as much as I love Subarus, like from other Subaru owners that clown on, four-wheel drive people. I'm like, man, you guys have no clue, like, what's up. Like, I respect Subarus and I love them and I'll always have one,
Mhm.
but it's like, man, you guys don't even have any idea.
Yeah. Yeah,
um,
especially with the GX having a V8. I feel like that makes
oh,
such a big difference.
full-time transfer cases are cool. The only downside is you can't do rear wheeler peelers and put it in rear wheel and just let it eat, you know. um, are you do you know anything about like re-gearing? Do you have any plans to re-gear at any point, or have you thought about that?
Um, so I talked with the shop that did my body mount chop and put my tires on and stuff, and they said that with the 33s, I shouldn't need to do any re-gearing. They said
Okay.
that would more so come with like the 35s, and so that just gets really expensive, and I don't want like a huge project where I'm tanking a ton of money into. It's like why I got
Yeah.
it because it's capable on its own. So
Yeah. I think that's a good approach, because making something as capable as you can to a certain point, I think is such a good way to go. Um,
mhm.
like with the Jeep, it's like you start going down that rabbit hole, and it's like, oh, in order to run this one mod that seems like it would be affordable, I got to do these three other mods to make it
Yeah.
sustainable and to make it work. And, it's like, oh, well, now the drive line's at a different angle. So I have to spend $300 and 4 hours under the car doing a slip yoke eliminator kit so that the drive line doesn't wobble and break itself loose. Like
Yeah.
all sorts of stupidity. And I think for most people, everybody wants like the biggest, most, rad looking thing,
Mhm.
on the trail. But, you know, unless you're really planning to utilize like 37s or 42s, like, to, be realistic with what you actually need, and then and
Yeah.
then go that way. Did that car, the GX, did it come with 31s from the
Yeah.
factory? Okay.
Mhm.
Oh man, that's just a 2-inch difference. That's Yeah, you don't need to re-gear for that. I mean, you could if you
Yeah.
were really nitpicky. But with the V8, dude, you don't got to worry about it. You got all the power, probably
Yeah.
still real close within the parameters for whatever the stock gears are.
Mhm.
What are your future plans for that car? Are you gonna kind of leave it how it is? Do you have any like extra camping stuff you want to do to it?
Yeah. So I know for sure skid plates are probably one of the next modifications I'm gonna go for, just for that peace of mind on the trails. I've been going back and forth. Like, I love how it looks stock, honestly, like even without the lift, but I
Mm-hmm.
think it would still be nice to get a lift in there, especially like if I do want to load it up to go camping. Like right now, the suspension is super soft and I could see it,
Okay.
sagging and possibly rubbing with the tires. So yeah, those are the two I'm thinking are up next. A 2.5 inch lift and skid plates.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna get roasted for this too, but I think body lifts. If you're just trying to get a little more clearance for the tires,
Mhm.
and you just want a little more, be a little bit higher up off the road for approach and departure angle, body lifts are just fine, because
Yeah.
I don't know how much you've looked into it, but it just physically spaces the body up off the frame,
Okay.
which, yeah, that's not like the most ideal way to lift,
Mhm.
a 4x4, but it doesn't matter. If you just
Yeah.
need if you just need a little bit more clearance,
Mhm.
totally fine.
Yeah.
Um, but like I said, I'm gonna get shredded to bits for saying that by somebody that probably doesn't even, probably somebody that drives a Sentra is gonna hate on me for saying
Yeah.
that. It's always the Maxima and Sentra drivers that are like, your build sucks. Oh gosh, I forgot. Oh, the skid plates on the GX.
Mhm.
Is there anything? I know those are independent suspension in the front, I think. So they don't have a solid axle in the front to protect everything. But what all is exposed on that car that you would want to put a skid plate in front of?
That's a good question. I guess like I don't really know enough about cars to know exactly what would be exposed. Just like coming from the Subaru where I was like, I just want full coverage, protect everything. I just kind of had the same mentality with the GX, just like whatever is exposed, just cover it. I don't
Hmm.
want to risk anything.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's the way to be. I feel
Yeah.
like I took a lot of the same mentality from like my Subaru wheeling. I brought a lot of that over to like the 4x4 stuff, where in the 4x4 community, nobody really gives a fudge about wheel and tire weight. But that you have to focus on that with Subarus. You got to make sure you're
Yeah.
not running like an 80-pound setup. So I kind of kept that same mentality.
Mhm.
Uh, but it served me well so far.
Yeah.
With your driving habits off road, I think line choice is such an important part of
Mhm.
driving with a Subaru on the
Yeah.
trails. Like if you're not willing to kind of like analyze the trail as you're driving it and pick the most advantageous route up the trail, like you're gonna break stuff and
Yeah.
and have all kinds of problems.
Mhm.
How is your just mentality driving off the pavement changed when you go out into the forest and you're driving in the GX?
Uh, I would say I definitely feel more invincible. I feel like I don't have to worry as much about the line because I know I'm gonna make it.
Hmm.
The main thing is like my bumper is a little wonky, like some of the clips are kind of broken. So I do have to be careful. Like if I were to smack that pretty hard, it could just pop off.
Okay.
So that's my main concern right now is just like the approach angle I'm taking and how I could possibly like hit my bumper on something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like not having to charge up things at full
Oh
full
yeah.
speed, dude.
Yeah.
It's so much more enjoyable because it's like,
Hmm.
oh, there's a boulder. I'm gonna have to hit that at like 15 miles an hour to somehow get over it.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff did you, if anything, did you break on the Subaru off road? Like, did you ever break axles or end links or um, tie rod ends, ball joints, anything like that?
I was told recently that I bent my control arms in the
Oh
back.
no. Oh, oh, that's pretty normal. That's pretty normal. Those get clapped
Yeah.
pretty easily.
Yeah. So, I mean, but I didn't full on break it. I did have to replace my front axles already because those were clicking really bad at one
Hmm.
point. But nothing to the point where like it was broken on the trail, more so just like maybe kind of like worn out over time.
Yeah, wear and tear.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. That's preventative maintenance is kind of the the key.
Yeah.
With those CV axles, do you know if the boots were torn?
Yeah, so it was actually a whole thing. I took it to a mechanic and they were like, "Oh, we can replace it with OEM or try to rebuild it."
Hmm.
And I don't know anything about axles, honestly. So I was like, we'll rebuild it. Not a big
Yeah.
deal. Like it could break again because I go off roading, like whatever. But not knowing that, like, if the boot's already torn, like you can't rebuild it. Like that doesn't work that way. And so they rebuilt it. It kept clicking and I had to just replace it anyway. So yeah,
Oh, so they didn't do an actual rebuild. They did like a reboot.
maybe.
Oh,
I don't
dude.
know.
Oh, those people charged you money?
Yeah, I know.
Dude, they should
I
be
was like, never
paying
again
you.
going there.
That's the wackest thing. Okay, we won't put them on blast, but gosh, dude. Yeah, because if you catch it in time, you can definitely reboot and get away with it. But if they're already
Mm,
clicking, all the damage has been done,
yeah, they're
and
clicking really bad.
yeah, it's just that's kind of I think that's like the biggest thing. I always rant about this because everybody says, "Oh, if you lift your Subaru, it's going to destroy your axles." And I think what's really happening is the boots never get inspected.
Mm,
People don't crawl under and look. But then if the boot tears, you get a bunch of water, dirt, sand, snow, like whatever goes right in there,
mhm.
and all the grease comes out, and that's what eats the like. I don't know if you've ever seen what they look like inside. They look like some kind of weird alien contraption, um, but it just chews them up, and then they start to
Mm,
click like crazy.
okay.
And then they replace it with like a parts store axle, and the parts store axles are just like they're the most satanic thing ever. Like they, I've had them take a dump on like stock Subarus. I don't know
Oh
what
my
it is,
gosh.
but
Mm.
then they're like, "Oh, it broke again." It's like, well, yeah, but you use like an $80 CarQuest axle, dude.
Yeah.
Like you would have run into that problem if you're at stock height, anyways.
Yeah.
Um, what about like with the Subaru and the GX? Uh, with the understanding that the cars are going to see off road or severe duty usage. Um, did you change like your maintenance schedule at all or anything? Like, did you shorten the intervals between oil changes or do any preemptive, fluid changes on anything in the car?
Um, so I just did the regular recommended maintenance, like scheduled maintenance. for the Subaru. So whatever mileage it said to do certain checks and everything and inspections, I just made sure to keep that up. I don't think I did anything extra per se, but I definitely made sure to, like, I'm an advocate for checking your oil regularly and making sure, like,
Yes.
you have plenty and that it's not super dirty. So
Yeah,
I did
absolutely.
that.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's like, I always tell people, that's the cheapest insurance you can have to not,
Mhm.
spinning bearings or, getting rod knocked down the road is like, just check your oil, dude. Like, it takes 3 minutes when you're pumping
Yeah.
gas, just like
Mhm.
let the pump do its thing, go check your
Yeah.
oil, and then go get your what energy drink of choice and go home, dude. It's
Exactly.
that easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not always taken my own advice. My daily driver has rod knock right now.
Oh, no.
It's my own fault. I neglected it, and it's got a lot of mileage on it. So I got a short block sitting in the garage, but it's been sitting out there forever. It's sitting on an engine stand, and I just haven't put it in because I'm just a real scoundrel, and it just is what it is. The T case. Did you the T case on the GX or the transfer case? Did you have you ever checked the fluid on it or anything?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I did take my car into a Lexus dealer and I did like the 21-point inspection or whatever,
Okay.
and they, looked it over. I'm not sure what all that includes, but
They probably checked that.
yeah, it passed inspection, so
Okay,
that was
sick.
good.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I when I bought the Jeep, I was like, I mean, I knew the guy that I bought it from. I knew he used it as a wheeler, and he also treated it very uh negatively the same way that I do. And I was like, okay, I better like refresh this thing, and
Mm,
dumped out the because transfer cases, you have like, it's like a rear diff. You have like a upper and a lower plug, and
mm.
you pull the lower to drain it, and you add fluid up on the top plug. I drained it out. It looked like a strawberry milkshake. I was like, oh yeah, this thing's been in the water for sure.
Oh, no.
But it is what it is. Just if it ever blows up, I'll just put another transfer case in it. Okay, let me ask you this: favorite trails like in the Pacific Northwest, whether it's like Washington or Oregon. What's kind of your
Mhm.
favorite region to go, whether it's strictly off-roading or camping? What are some of kind of your like favorite places?
That's challenging.
Oh,
To
sorry.
be honest, no, it's okay. Since I've really only been here a year, since I moved back,
Hmm.
and I still feel like I have so much more to explore. So I really don't know that I can fully answer that. I know that now I have the GX. I definitely want to go back to the Tillamook State Forest and
Yeah,
mess around there because I think there's some more moderate trails that my Outback couldn't handle that I really want to try again in my GX. So I think that would be fun. The battleground area that I went to was really cool. So I can't say that I have a favorite, but I think I want to do more exploring in the Tillamook State Forest for sure.
absolutely. Yeah, if you go up near BG, like that whole area, you'll have to go up to like Bluff Mountain and all that
Mhm.
stuff. It's kind of in the, you know how it is. Everything's separated by these big hills and peaks. And when you look at it
Yeah.
on the map, you're like, oh, that was only like 2 miles away as the crow flies, but it took me like an hour to get
Yeah.
there. Bluff Mountain's cool, especially if there's a little bit of snow.
Okay.
That whole area is so
Mhm.
sick. Um, the in the GX, I know you kind of talked about kind of what you carried in the Subaru for like recovery stuff and all that.
Yeah.
Do you carry an air compressor in the GX?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you
Um,
what
oh,
do
go
you
ahead.
have?
It's nothing impressive. I probably need to upgrade, honestly, from the Outback to the GX because it's with a different tire size. I don't
Hmm.
know that this compressor can handle my new tires without overheating. So we'll find out.
Is it like a
um,
little Viair compressor or
that sounds about right. It's just
okay?
one that you like put in the power outlet in your car or on the dash and
Okay.
hook it up to the tires. Yeah. So nothing fancy.
All you need is like a Viair 88P, man. Those bad boys go straight to the battery. I think they're like $80,
Okay.
and I've seen them zip up 33s. I've used
Mhm.
those to fill
Okay.
33s.
Yeah. I probably need
It's
to
like,
upgrade.
yeah, hopefully you might blow a fuse running it straight out
Mm.
of the just go into like the cigarette lighter thing.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you start doing 33s, it just has to stay on for so freaking
Yeah,
long.
yeah.
But
It's
you
like
know, you just gotta you just run whatever you got,
mhm.
make it work.
Yeah, yeah.
And then what about, did you change out any of the recovery gear in the GX at all, or did you just bring all the same stuff over?
I just brought all the same stuff over. I figure might as well since I have it.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think most recovery stuff is like overkill for Subarus.
Yeah.
So when you bring it over to the GX, it'll probably be just fine.
Mhm.
Okay, so favorite retro video game, what's up?
Ooh, okay. That's actually a really hard
Let me
question.
switch
I have
gears
so
here.
many.
I remember
Um,
you mentioning something about
yeah.
the OG stuff.
Yeah. So I grew up with Crash Bandicoot.
Dude,
Yeah, so, like,
frick
instead of
yeah.
Mario Kart, I grew up with Crash Team Racing.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, so I actually, like, occasionally still whip that out because I have a PS2 still, so sometimes I'll play that. And, did you ever play the Fire Emblem series, like, on Game Boy Advance?
No, I did not.
Okay, well, I grew up with that, and so I actually am emulating that game on my computer recently,
Sick.
so yeah,
Dude, that's what I'm talking about.
yeah.
Um, it's funny you brought up Crash Team Racing because I was just in Alaska for a work trip.
Mhm,
So I was stuck on, I think it was Anchorage to SeaTac. I've got like an Amberic RG Cube, I think is what it is, like a little handheld emulator.
mhm.
Definitely played that game on the airplane because I'd never played it for Game Boy Advance, but I played it
Okay.
for PS1, dude. Like
Yeah.
I'm an old man. Like PS1 was the jam when I was a
Mhm.
kid. Yeah, it's funny you say that you still have a PS2 because I don't have any other PlayStation other than a PS2. I've got like an OG PS2
Yeah.
just chilling like in the cabinet. Like I think the PS2 was like revolutionary.
Yeah, it
Like
is. I actually only had a PS2 for years, and then, like, 2 years ago, I finally got a PS5.
oh shoot.
Yeah.
Dang, dude, that's what's up. I've honestly though, like I didn't play video games for probably like 15 years. I was just, trying to like get through school and
Mhm.
build a career and all that type of stuff. And then started playing Mario Kart. I was like, oh yeah, I miss playing Mario Kart. This is sick. Then I
Yeah.
got hooked. I was like, oh, this is tight. Okay, so you don't have to. Maybe it's too personal, but so you're a school principal,
I am, yeah.
dude. That's sick. You're the second one I've interviewed. Derek,
Yeah.
Derek, uh, Derek keeps the kids in line as well.
Yeah.
What How long have you been in that profession?
I'm in my 2nd year of being a principal, so still pretty new.
Okay.
Yeah, but I believe I completed my 10th year in education last year, so,
Oh, right on.
yeah.
Were you a teacher previously, or
So I taught for 7 years, and then I was an assistant principal before moving into this role.
nice? That's what's
Yeah.
up. What did you teach?
I taught, various grades in elementary, like, I taught 1st grade, 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Oh, right on. So you got to
Yeah.
teach a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I taught for a little bit,
Okay.
and I taught Korean kids. They're much easier to deal with.
Oh. Yeah.
Have dude. I still get emails from them occasionally. They're like,
Oh,
"Oh, teacher, we miss you. Blah blah blah. Here's a
cute.
life update." And I'm like, "How are you 16? Like, what in the
Yeah,
world?" I
time
remember
is
when
crazy.
yeah, like you would have fit in a lunchbox at the time, and now you're like able to drive. Like this
Yeah.
is makes me feel even older than I am. What's I mean, like I said, I've never taught in the US, so I
Mhm.
don't know how receptive kids are to education here, but what's kind of the like most rewarding part of that being in that profession?
Honestly, I think it's the relationships you build with students to make them feel like seen and valued because they don't always experience that at home.
Hmm.
And then I also think that ties into like their education because like you are their biggest cheerleader, you believe in them, and like seeing them motivated by that belief in them is really rewarding.
I love that so much. That's like it's kind of the same way that I feel when I see somebody off-road, like learning for the
Yeah.
first time. Like, oh, I've never aired down, dude. Like, this is crazy. But it's even cooler when you're dealing with children, because it's like, I still remember, I had a rough childhood, and I still remember even just like kind words that people said to me as a kid
Mm.
just changed the trajectory of my
Oh,
life. And
yeah.
I still remember those people. They would never remember any of that stuff if I brought it up to them today, but
Mhm.
it's a good feeling to
Yeah,
like encourage people, and
it is. Uh-huh.
I had a kid, his well, it was his English name. They make up names because they've got
Mhm.
these names that most Americans would never be able to figure out. But
Yeah.
his name was Ryan, although
Okay.
he definitely was not named Ryan. But Ryan was so scared of me the first
Aw.
day he saw me at school. He just was like, wanted nothing to do with me, was super scared. Like, oh no, this like weird, like white teacher. I don't like him. I couldn't get him to say a word in class, couldn't get him to do anything. And I was trying to think like, man, some kids you kind of have to be like, hey, you got to get in line and start behaving. But a lot of kids, you just have to figure out like a good angle on how to like encourage them, and that was
Yeah.
him. And
Mhm.
figured out that he was always doodling like dinosaurs, and he called them dinos. And
Uh,
so I just started being like, okay, I want you to do like a special project instead of the one in the book. I want you to do this, but make it like with dinos. By the end of like the second semester that I had him, he would like get up and do these big presentations in English, mind you,
oh,
which is
wow.
like, not their first language. That was like the
Mhm.
most rewarding thing ever.
Yeah.
Seeing a kid that like would never have wanted to speak English
Mhm.
getting up. Oh, and they actually like sent, because you had to take videos to show to the parents like this is like what they're learning,
Yeah.
and you have to submit them through like the school software. And the like head, or like the branch manager, she saw it and like sent it out to like the main, because it was like a private school, sent it out, and they
Mhm.
like sent it around like, hey, this is what a good presentation looks like. And I was like, yeah, sick, my boy Ryan out here killing it. He's probably going to be a doctor or a surgeon or a pilot or something, or maybe who knows, maybe an archaeologist. Good old Ryan doing the dino thing. He was such a cool kid. But I'm guessing you still have to do stuff like, since you're in administration during the summer, but
Mhm.
you get like a lot more time in the summer to get out and like do kind of whatever you want.
Yeah. So as a principal, like I think it works differently in different districts, but
Hmm.
sometimes you get like a month off. For me, it was I had to work part-time all summer, but I got to pick my schedule. So
Oh,
yeah,
love
so
that.
I still made it so that I got plenty of time off to go do what I wanted to do.
Right on. Yeah,
Yeah.
that way, instead of having just like 1 or 2 days off, you
Mhm.
can kind of stack them, I'm guessing.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
Next, I mean, I guess you're probably going to do stuff throughout the year, but have you planned anything so far? Or got any like ideas of like, oh, this is where I want to go?
Like off-road or
Yeah, or just
uh
whatever, dude. Yeah,
So actually this upcoming weekend, I'm going with a small group to like the Sisters Bend area, and we're gonna
nice.
do I think it's called like the North Blowout Shelter or something off Santiam Pass. And I'm going
Okay,
with unpaved.
Derek, respect.
Yeah, and Subaru
Okay.
and Starscream Sherman
Oh yeah, dude.
and yeah, and his girl. So
Yeah,
yeah,
Cassie,
we're
the freaking
gonna
G.
yeah. So we're gonna go and hit a trail and do some camping on Saturday. So
Okay,
that'll be nice. Yeah.
dude. Michelle is like one of my favorite people ever.
Yeah,
Dude,
she's great.
have you been out on trails with her before?
I think the time that I went to the Tillamook State Forest, she was at that one.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, Michelle is like one of my favorite people of all time in the Subaru community. We did like, I don't remember, maybe it was like section. I can never keep all the sections straight of the back road discovery routes. Um, but I was at this Subaru trail run the first time she'd ever been off road. So she was like that brand new person that like didn't know what she was doing or anything. And you know, I would be like, okay, here's your line, here's how you're gonna want to do it. She would just hammer this stuff out. And I was like, dude, yes. And by the end of it, she was like, okay, cool. Like, this is so sick. I'm going to do
Yeah.
this like forever. And now she's like the person, you know, on social media that all the other Subaru people are like, yo, this is tight. How do I do this? Or how did you do
Yeah.
that? Or whatever. And she's just such a nice person.
She is.
I still have never met her husband, but I guess he doesn't really care for the off-roading thing. And
Oh.
she hasn't scammed him to come out on any of the trips yet. But yeah, she's rad. And then of course, Derek and Brandon, dude, they're super rad.
Yeah.
Love those guys. Okay, best workout tip. What's up?
That's very general. Best workout tip. Give yourself plenty of time to recover,
There you
and
go.
you're stronger than you think you are.
Dude, there's nothing like almost like when the bar is on you and you don't have a spotter and it's about to crush you in the chest. It's amazing how much weight you can press.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've definitely bailed on squats more than once when I know I've got the pins out and know I'm not
Mhm.
going to die.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I'll just bail. Or, you know, even just that split second of like doubt or whatever
Mhm.
when I'm under the bar, like that split second of like, I could give up if I want. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I immediately just like bail the weight. Like, I just have to tell myself, no, this is light. And yeah, I'm the strongest human being
Yeah.
on planet Earth, like by a
Yeah.
long shot. It's like not even remotely true, but
Mhm.
yeah, I love that. I think that's a good point in life, dude. Like,
Yeah.
just in general, like I love
Mhm.
learning. I love doing new stuff. Like, I think we're so much more capable of like all types of stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
doesn't matter, you know, whether it's like learning a new instrument. Everybody always says like, oh, once you hit the age of like 25, it's so hard to learn, you know, like you get your brain. That's not true,
It's
dude.
not
Like,
true.
not even remotely true. There's no
Yeah.
science that backs that up. And all it is we're just like busy, you know.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think everybody says, well, yeah, look, like kids learn new languages without ever taking a single lesson. I'm like, they're literally being taught from a native speaker 24
Yeah.
hours a day,
Yeah.
nonstop by their parents or whoever's around.
Mhm.
They definitely have a language instructor, man. Like, get out of here. Like, that's not a good excuse for you not learning how to go do something new to like have fun, you
Yeah.
know?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so it sounds like you've been super successful and, you know, built a career that you enjoy. Got
Mhm.
any advice for people on, you know, because I talk to people a little bit younger a lot. Got any advice on like what should they do? Should they go find themselves at Burning Man 5 years in a row and do a bunch of drugs to find themselves, or how would you how would you guide those people?
Yeah. I I feel like it's interesting for me because I feel like I've always prioritized like in addition to like working hard, working out hard, I've also prioritized playing hard. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a balance for me. Like I
Yes.
um I did not slave my life away by any means to get to this point career wise. Like I definitely busted ass, but I had
Mm-hmm.
fun along the way. Like
Oh, definitely.
it was not all just hard work, you know. So I am a big festival goer, not Burning Man, but I do go to quite a bit and that's how I have my fun. So I feel like it's got to be a balance.
Dude, I couldn't agree more. I think there's a lot of people, as long as it doesn't sacrifice some part of your future, dude, have
Mhm.
all the fun you can along the way, dude. And
Yeah.
like, as
Yeah.
long as you um, are strategic about the way that you're
Mhm.
gonna do whatever it is you think you want to do,
Yeah.
like do it, man. But at the same time, like
Mhm.
I had no idea what I wanted to do. Like literally, even until like my 30s, I had no clue. Like, what am I gonna do
Yeah.
with my life, man? But it didn't matter, you know. It was like I just always tried to do the absolute best at whatever it was. Like even if
Mhm.
I had to like sweep floors for a living, well, you better believe I'd sweep those floors better than anybody. You know, janitor of the year.
Yeah.
Like, who
Yeah.
cares? Anything that I missed or anything else you want to talk about specifically relating to like the cars or any other questions I should ask you?
Not that I can think of. I mean, I'm definitely bummed to be selling my Subaru. Like if I
Me
was in a
too.
better place in my life where like I had a big driveway, like or a big
Hmm.
garage where I could have like two cars and like financially in a better spot, I would absolutely keep the Subaru.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is a like a bittersweet thing. Like I'm really happy to have the GX, but definitely bummed to let the Subaru go. So no hate to the Subaru community
Oh.
whatsoever, because I've already been given shit from people. I still
Yeah.
love all the Subarus. Like I get stoked seeing like a clapped out Subaru or something,
Yeah.
So still love it. I still always will. And I still hope like primarily to keep my off-road group to the Subaru group that I've created here. So
Some of the best people,
yeah,
like
exactly.
100%. Like it doesn't matter if I'm in the Jeep or what I'm in. Like
Hmm.
I prefer to go meet up with the OG homies from
Yeah.
Western Washington.
Hmm.
That's who I like wheeling with the most. Even though
Yeah.
everybody's in Subarus, even if I'm taking the Jeep out, like I'd prefer to be out with those people because they're like
Yeah.
in the feelers, dude. Like the nicest people, the most fun people.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, I wheel with a lot of like old men out here, like
Yeah.
like literally it'll be like old dudes out here that own like farms and stuff, or like farm service
Oh, yeah.
companies or whatever. Like those are the dudes out here that I usually wheel with, and I learn a lot from them.
Mhm.
But it's like a different type of experience. I
Yeah.
definitely love my Subaru homies
Yes.
for sure. That's what's up. Okay, one more time. Let's see. You're on Instagram,
Mhm.
uh, Ursula the GX.
Yeah.
Perfect. There's an underscore between after
All the
Ursula and
words.
after G. Yeah,
Yeah.
no underscore after GX though.
Yeah.
Are you on like YouTube or anything like that?
I'm not, no.
Okay,
Just Instagram, yeah.
dude, YouTube is hard. I don't
Yeah,
blame
I
you.
don't even wanna venture out there.
Yeah, yeah, and always the comments on YouTube are so much more hate, like just more haters.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
on Instagram, I feel like there are haters, but usually the algorithm does a good job of like
Mhm.
putting people in front of you that actually like what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then what about like, are there any affiliate deals that you have, like discount codes or anything like that you want to shout out?
No, unfortunately, not at this time.
Self-funded, baby. Let's
Yep.
freaking go, dude. That's what's up. Cool. Well, dang it. I appreciate you doing this. This was
Yeah.
cool for me to talk to somebody else that went to the dark side.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting perspective. We'll probably both get
Mhm.
hate in the comments, but God gave me two middle fingers for a reason, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that I'd ever use them, but